everyone. How are you guys doing today? Sorry about the little delay and the lag, but let me give you a few seconds until I get started. I'm on the right chat. Yes. So let me see. All right. I hope you all have been well and the energies of March have been treating you really well as well. I hope you guys can hear me clear. Let me just see. Hello, everyone. Shannon says hello, everyone. See more of you guys joining me. All right. Okay. Hey, Shannon, how are you? All right, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. With that, I'm going to talk about the forecast. Well, March has been a very interesting month. Like I had said in Feb, March is going to be very racy and agitating. So you might find yourself releasing a lot or feeling a little bit clingy or attached to your DM, or you may be on the extreme end of feeling completely detached to the journey. So you may be experiencing either or. Because the energies of March, what it actually does is that it goes deep within and it attacks the core. So, in a spiritual evolutionary perspective, it's actually good because you're releasing stuff that you have been like holding back or has been causing you to not progress in your life, not materialistic progress, but as a soul, soul evolution. So, well, with that, this month can be very, very hectic as well. And that's why I thought this topic would be excellent for this month. And that's the reason why I decided on this topic. Perfect. I see more of you guys here. Guys, show me that you are here. Send me some comments. Hopefully, the internet doesn't break. Oh, okay. I see more comments here. Hi, Bharati. Good to see you. Hi, Nimit. Good to see you. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. Hi, MJ. Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you as always. Again, only for this week. We are having a change in time. Next week onwards, we'll be back to our 9 p.m. Eastern, and there won't be any more changes. I can assure you that. All right. So, how many of you are excited about today's topic? Even though it's not exactly an exciting topic per se, but it is a necessary one because for all twin flames, it's the fear factor that takes the longest to overcome. And if this fear factor was just based on this lifetime, it wouldn't be as complex. But unfortunately, it is based on lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. So you've got so much to it. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I would also like to thank all of you all for your kind tips. It means a lot, and I'm really looking forward to doing the channeling after the discourse. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for all your tips. If you guys want to send a tip, this is where you can send me a tip. I'll throw in the link. Anytime I'm lagging or anything, please let me know. And with that, we have got a good 8 viewers, 9 viewers, and we can start. So, finally, the forecast for March. Okay, March is very fiery, so don't allow the energies of March to get to you. So if you're getting frustrated or angry or agitated, just think of it as the energies of March. It's not you. So your divine masculine will also be feeling a lot of release during this month. So there could be that energy of agitation going back and forth between the both of you. And the best way to prepare for it would be when there's knowledge, when you're aware why you are feeling this way, then often you're able to respond to it, and you'll be like, now I know why I'm feeling a little edgy or frustrated. And with that, you'll be able to, like, calm yourself down, or just surrender to the energies of March. With that, I hope you guys have got a clear idea of what March is about. And now I'm going to delve right into topic. And today's topic is basically how to get rid of the fear of not being together with your twin flame. Why does it happen? Where does that fear stem from? Is it inherent? Is it because it's a high energy, powerful connection? There's fear, and isn't it a bit contradictory as well? Like, high energy, why is there fear? Is it part of the process of healing and evolving, or does the fear actually come from your divine masculine? So these are the questions we're going to talk about, and we are also going to talk about ways to cope, because that's very, very important. Because when you have coping mechanisms, and they are very, very crucial in your twin flame journey, because being prepared for anything that can happen will be the best preparation you can do for yourself. Because the twin flame journey is one of the journeys where you can't really predict what's going to happen. So we're going to talk about ways to cope, and also how to trust the journey, how to trust God, how to trust the universe, how to trust that you are on this divine twin flame journey, and how to accept things that happen, like separation, not being together, silence from your divine masculine, things like that. Like, how to actually accept all of those things and still trust that you're on a twin flame journey, and you are in this for a higher purpose, and to try to figure out what is this higher purpose about. So we're going to talk about all of this, and I'm also going to do a special union forecast for the next 30 years, because it's looking extremely, extremely wonderful. So yes, with that, I'm gonna, again, I broke down what I'm going to talk about, so I'm going to start. So, firstly, how to get rid of the fear. All right, let's talk about fear. Fear in itself, fear is a response that, it's more of a reaction, not even a response. Okay, you can call it response or reaction, depending on how you see it. It comes from the mind. It stems from the mind, and it actually comes from a place of protection from the mind. So, just let me use this example. So, back in the day, if there was no mind, a hunter would probably be killed by one of those large animals that he goes hunting for, right? So, the mind protects the hunter from telling him, oh, he has to run. The time has come for him to run, or to be away from this situation. So the mind inherently generates fear to protect you. So, for example, fire is hot. So it generates this fear within you to not go touch the fire. What has happened over the years is, with evolution and things changing, and the not so good energies started to manipulate these energy of fear to make it a core part of your life in a negative way. So fear in itself is not negative or bad. Fear is more of you being prepared for the worst. For example, you're being prepared. So, when we are talking about fears surrounding the twin flame journey, the biggest fear would be not being together, right? Or not seeing your divine masculine anymore, or not being with him anymore, or even worse, if he decides to be with someone else, or he never sees you again, or talks to you again, or is in union with you again. These are common fears in a twin flame journey, and firstly, they are acceptable. I hear you. It's something that everyone has to support everyone in order to survive within the twin flame community, because these things are very, very common. So the fear in itself is justifiable because anything can happen in the journey. But if we take one step back, where does this fear come from? It doesn't come from just this life. Like you see a guy, you fall in love, or you think you fall in love. This is for non-twin flame connections. At max 6 months, that's the most that you would be grieving or you'll be in pain. And after that, you're going to move on. You're either going to remain single, or you're going to just be interested in someone else. But only with a twin flame connection, you're just not able to get over your divine masculine, you know. And not being able to get over becomes a kind of a problem for your friends and family, especially, if you guys are in a younger age. Actually, it's not even age. Societal's pressure for people to be with someone has always been high. So that societal pressure of you being in a situation like this can be very, very stressful. So a lot of it has got to do with the external world, because internally, once you realize you're on a twin flame journey, once you're on the path of God, once you start connecting, surrendering to God, you will notice that you're never alone. And that is one layer of it, right? Second layer is communicating with your divine counterpart multidimensionally. That's taking place. So you're never quite in separation once you realize you're in a twin flame journey. But somehow that desire, that necessity, that need to be in union is very high. But beyond the desire is that fear. It's like most, if I were to conduct a poll, literally, the fear that you are not going to be with your divine counterpart is so high that every time someone gets into union, it's considered a miracle. But I want you guys to shift that mindset, because it's not a miracle getting into union with your divine counterpart. It's actually your right, both of your rights, because you are meant to be together. You guys are divine husband and wife. It's not a miracle for you guys to be together. You're one soul. You are always going to be glued back to each other. But the whole Leela, Leela is playing Sanskrit, is getting together in this 3D world. Another thing is, you may be asking, hey, why is it that only some get into union? Are they some kind of special souls? Something? No, it's never that way. You have to see it this way. Each one of us have a history. Each one of us have a purpose. We have got a lot of missions. We have got a lot of roles that we partake before entering earth and on earth. And sometimes union is part of the mission plan, sometimes separation is part of the mission plan. For some, it could be 500 million years of separation, and then finally, this lifetime, you get into union within 3 years. For some, it could be just separation, maybe 5 lifetimes. So getting into union might become a struggle. So you've got stuff like that going on. So that's why, please don't ever compare your journey with anyone else. It's everyone has got their own history, everyone has got their own pain and own suffering, and it's never quite easy. But however, do remove certain notions that probably the twin flame community or our ancestors or people of the past have written about how difficult it is to get into union. There's always been that negative connotation attached to twin flame union. Because some of y'all may be asking, oh, you're speaking this way because, you're in union and blah, blah, blah. The thing is, if you are going to have that mindset that union is extremely hard and getting into union is very rare, and the amount of work I do on myself is going to relate to whether I'm going to get into union or not, then you are not going to get into union because you're putting all this pressure on you, right? And think about it this way: the universe is this big projector. So, what you project is what you're going to manifest. So, if you're going to put in all of these fears by other people, oh, union is impossible, you have to be a great soul to be in union, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this amount of healings. No, pure love and surrender to God, pure love and surrender to your divine counterpart, pure love and surrender to the journey is all that's necessary. These healings help. That's all. Having a community helps, just like how you have got fellow twin flame friends. These things help. So, all of these add value to your journey, but these are not mandatory parts. Another thing is, every journey is extremely, extremely, extremely unique. So, what works for one might not work for the other. So, the first step always is to try to surrender and release. And that's why a big part of what I always talk about to you guys, and I always recommend you doing, is adapting the art of detachment, adapting the art of surrender. And to each one of you all, you have your own personal, private relationship with God. God is not, doesn't show favoritism to one soul over another. No, we all have our unique connection with God, and you don't need someone in the middle to help you communicate with God either. Pure, unconditional surrender. Again, God is to each one of us, it's our interpretation, right? So for some, you may address God in a different name, in a different form. So that is clearly up to you. But building a relationship with God will help you to realize a lot of things much quicker than reading things online. So that will be the biggest giveaway as far as this lecture is concerned. And it will also help you to overcome that fear, because that fear is always going to be there. Even when you're in union, that fear can be there. Like, what is the guarantee? I might be in union with my DM, but you know an accident could happen, and one of us may pass on. Anything can happen. Like, literally, the unpredictability of life on earth is so dire that you can only live moment to moment. Example, in this moment you are able to talk to your DM, or you're able to communicate with your DM, or you're able to catch that glance with your DM. Only that exists. So a lot of twin flames take that phase for granted. When you get to see your DM a lot, when you get to be around your DM, hanging out as friends or something, you would have taken those points, those moments for granted, because when you are in complete separation, you are like, you would take anything. You would even take like a glance from 20 miles away, or you would take a breadcrumb. You would take anything, to just know. And then there'll come a point where there is nothing from your divine masculine, and it can be very, very fearful. It can be very, very scary, and you just don't know what is happening. For some, you are, especially when you guys are blocked, or you have no way of knowing what's going on with your DM. You don't have mutual friends, or you have nothing. That could be one of the scariest phases ever. And then you have to balance that pressure of meeting that expectations of society, right? Like you want to like have that expectation. But when you're in the journey, the longer you are in the journey, what society thinks of you wouldn't matter anymore, because you know for sure. But that is the thing also. Real twin flames have the most doubt. You can ask MJ. MJ would agree with me on this. It's ironical. Actually, those who are not on the twin flame journey have lesser doubt than those who are really on a twin flame journey, because every single day you're questioning this journey. You're like, what is going on? Why am I trapped in this situation? Why am I not able to find attraction with someone else? So whom you could have been attracted in the past before connecting with your DM, or anyone, even if the most handsome guy or the wealthiest or whatever that you may have been attracted to pre meeting your DM, nothing is going to fancy you anymore. You're just going to go back to being in love with your divine masculine always. So that is the beauty of it, right? The beauty surpasses the fear. But let's work around the fear a little. So, time is good in a way, as much as most twin flames get very frustrated with the time, and time is passing and nothing from my DM, and I don't know where I'm going with this journey, I don't know what to do. Time actually assures the fact that you are on a twin flame journey. Because example, if it's just 3 months separation and you get into union with your DM, you yourself may start doubting, hey, am I really on a twin flame journey? You know, something like that. Time develops patience. Time develops courage. Time develops that sacredness between you and your divine counterpart. That's why patience is a virtue. And if you look at ancient stories of twin flames, even through Indian mythologies, Greek mythology, in fact, every mythology out there has got twin flame stories out there. And you will realize that even in the story of Lord Shiva and Parvati, Parvati waits, meditates with this pure energy of patience for thousands, millions, and millions of years until she merges with consciousness. And then Lord Shiva opens his eyes and sees, wow, I've never seen a love as pure as my divine counterparts. And that's how they merge together. So that's the beauty. Of course, in today's world, you're not going to wait millions and millions of years, and neither are you going to go to a cave and meditate for millions and millions of years either. It's just not going to work that way, because present world is very different. You have to look at it in terms of ages. So you've got the golden age, bronze age, silver age, and these things, right? You also have got, I've said this in a lot of my videos, the age of conflict, the age of chaos. The age of chaos, the age of conflict, the present era, or the Kali Yuga as we call it in Sanskrit, is the purest as most beautiful age of being able to exit the matrix and becoming enlightened. Literally, it's like a collective thing. The kind of teaching that I'm able to provide to you guys would have been impossible 100 years ago. I would probably be burned on a stake, right? Like, who is this healer? And what is she trying to do? Is this psychic? But now you've got all this information. But the beauty of it all is what you take in is what's going to help you. So, the information that I am channeling for you guys are steps to figure things out yourself. Because ultimately, self realization is the ultimate freedom. And don't put that kind of pressure on yourself like, oh, I need to get to this level. There's some colleagues of mine who tell me that they have some of the nastiest clients who put in all this pressure on themselves and them on trying to achieve results. No, this is not like an earth-based exam. You study hard for it, you get a grade, you get it. It doesn't work that way. This is a journey of pure unconditional love. It's about surrender. It's about accepting your divine counterpart, however they are, be it in amnesia, be it in ignorance, accepting the fact that your time will come to be together with him, because you guys can never be in separation to begin with. So when you start vibrating from this vibration, getting rid of that fear will slowly evaporate, because you're at a point where you accept everything as God's will. And when you start living life that way, life becomes a miracle. Life becomes effortless. It's like you are connected to everything but detached to everything. Like there's this famous saying in the Bhagavad Gita where you are connected to everything, and okay, I'm saying it in my own words, but none of it affects you, but you're detached. And that is the beauty of self realization, enlightenment, evolution. That means you can exist in your day to day. You don't have to go to a cave in Himalayas to gain enlightenment. I mean, that is one way. I'm not denying that. But being right in the middle of the matrix and being completely disconnected to the matrix, but being connected to God's energy is the beauty of it. That means you are in the matrix, but you are still existing, right? So that is the beauty. You are connected to everything, but you don't let anything own you. And when you come to that phase, you become the kings and queens and the masters of the universe. That's when you become fearless. So, we were talking about how fear was there to help you to survive. But the fear was manipulated by the systems and the not so good energies to become a part of your life. Little children are told, oh, if you do this, your teacher will scold you. If you do that, your parents will. There's always that fear element, without explanation. That fear for authority is developed at a very young age. The fear of this, the fear of that. But once you realize that fear in itself is not your enemy, you become free from fear. Once you realize that your life here on earth is a mere projection of your soul and it's so limited in your present, you realize how unlimited you are. Ironical, right? When you realize you're just a speck or just a projection of you, you realize that, wow, you are powerful beyond measure. That's why fear and anger come hand in hand. Fear and anger are like fear, sorry, fear and ego, not anger, sorry, fear and ego comes hand in hand. Alan Watts says this, and you can watch it in his videos. There are plenty of it on YouTube, and he is like well versed in a lot of things, even in the Indian mythologies as well, and it's beautiful. Some of the things he says, and he says this thing: everyone is, we're all gods living in a human body, but not many realize that. So if you were to dissect that, not every soul realizes their potential. Often you are so limited in your sense of being because of what you have been conditioned to believe, that you're always limited. So most of the time, most souls are in what you call a limited, in a limited place of survival. That's all you have been taught to. But again, even getting onto that spiritual path, getting remembering you are on a twin flame, it's all a calling. When you are guided by God, you are reminded, like when you're guided by super consciousness, because when you are a mere speck of consciousness, um atma, jiva, it's called, Sanskrit, it's called life, like speck of the super consciousness, you realize that you are connected. And when you realize, when you disconnect from the matrix and connect to God, you totally realize that life on earth becomes extremely fun, regardless of whether you're in union or not. The pain will evaporate when you let go of control. All right, another big part of fear is control. You not being able to control your circumstances. And because you have always been used to situations where things are just based on validation and others and conditioning and etc. Okay, I was just checking if I'm still going on because I don't see the comments. Oops. All right, I'm back again. I thought that I froze again. Last week's live was the only live that I wasn't disrupted. So yeah. All right. I don't know why I'm not able to see the messages here. Okay. Now I'm seeing all the messages. Now I'm going to read it off my phone. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Kayati. Hi, Eric. Yes, that Eric says that sounds like torture. Kind of.